Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Sole Drop, and today we're going to be talking about the best drop-in midsole shoes, right? So there's going to be two lists in this video. We're going to be talking about the best performing drop-in midsole shoes, right? So shoes that have a drop-in midsole, like which shoe is the best performing. And then also we're going to be talking about the best drop-in, right? The actual drop-in midsole, only the cushioning setup. That's what I'm going to be talking about. That's what the list is based on, right? So of course, drop-in midsoles are my favorite cushioning setup. Like I love that type of like cushion because there's a lot of reasons. First, I guess being your foot is right on top of the foam, right? I guess Chinese companies have been working their way around that with a soft mesh strobe board. So if you see a lot of Chinese companies nowadays, they give us a soft mesh strobe boards in like the WOW 10, the AC11 V2, the AG4, the AR1. They're giving us very, very soft mesh strobe boards, so your foot is pretty much right on top of the foam and you can feel it, right? But with traditional strobe boards and with like a lot of Nike shoes as well, they give us very stiff strobe boards, which is like glued down. You can't really feel the cushion right underneath your foot, right, for underfoot cushion. So that's why I like drop-in midsoles as well. Like your foot is pretty much right on top of it. Also, another thing that I love about it is it's replaceable. So if the cushion bottoms out, you can buy another drop-in midsole and then put another one in. You have fresh new cushion, right? Which is awesome. But the thing that sucks is there's only one company doing that, and that's Serious Player only. But shouts out to them for allowing us to do that. That's really, really dope. And also there's a lot of other reasons, right? They can put another like sidewall on the side of the drop-in midsole, which a lot of like shoes do, so you have better containment. Also, the texture from the foam gives you better like lockdown as well. It kind of grips your foot, kind of grips your sock, giving better lockdown, which I do like. So there's a lot of reasons why I like drop-in midsoles comparing to like just traditional cushioning setups. So this year there's been so many drop-in midsoles. This is the most amount of drop-in midsoles that I've seen ever, right? While doing this, I've been doing this for a while. Which makes me happy, like I said, because I do like drop-in midsoles. So yeah, if you guys do want to cop any of these shoes, I try to leave the free link in the description box. And first of all, we're gonna be doing a like the best shoe, right? So what's the best shoe with a drop-in midsole? So coming in at number 7, we got the Nike Cosmic Unity 3, which is an absolutely terrible shoe to play in. Don't get it. It's clunky, it's heavy, it's bulky, traction is on dust, and it's pretty good on clean court, right? But the cushion sucks. The actual drop-in is not good. The upper's okay, right? But then like it's just very bottom heavy as well, super clunky. It's just not a great shoe, so don't get it. So there's that. All right, moving on to number 6, we also have the Nike Zoom GT Cut 2, right? So the GT Cut 2, definitely not one of my favorite shoes because there's a couple of reasons. The traction, first of all, isn't amazing, right? It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing, especially comparing to the first one. The cushion also, it's just way too high up off the ground, which I didn't like. But I mean, it has full-length zoom, strobo, and then you have the React drop-in with, I believe it was a hexagonal zoom, bottom load in the heel, right? Yeah, it was just too much. So I didn't really like that as well. I mean, there's probably gonna be people that, like, what do you mean too much cushion? I mean, just way too high up off the ground, way too much compression, way too much bounce. So I didn't feel as responsive as I would like, in my personal opinion. So I didn't really like it all too much. And then also like the overall fit in the toe box is super narrow, super tight, which I didn't like. So yeah, all those reasons made me not like the GT Cut 2 that much, but it's still better than the Cosmic Unity 3, right? All right, moving on to number 5, we got the Jordan Zion 3, right? So it's a really nice shoe. There's just two things that I didn't really like about it. So first of all, it's the fit. The fit is really freaking narrow, right? So it did hurt my feet a little bit when I started to play and to get going. I didn't notice it as much, of course, but it was still like kind of uncomfortable, right? And I feel like a lot of people have been experiencing that. So just be careful with that unless you have a really skinny foot. Also, another thing that I really like is the traction on dust, right? So when it was really dusty, right? Like during the winter, it was very, very dusty. And also there were some times where it was very humid and it was because it was raining. It was really nice when it was raining and humid, right? But when it was really, really dusty, it wasn't getting amazing stops, right? So it wasn't terrible, but I did find myself wiping a good amount. So just be careful on that. But the cushion is amazing, support's great. I like the upper material as well. It does feel a little clunky in the heel, but that's just most drop-in midsoles if they don't have like an actual like midsole to compress, right? So there is the Zion 3. Moving on to number 4, we got the 808 3 Ultra. Amazing, amazing shoe. The only thing I didn't like about it is the cushion on hard impacts, right? So the hard impact cushion, like the boom, like it has full-length boom. If you're doing hard impacts, it does bottom out the cushion pretty easily and a good amount, so your foot hits the ground a little bit. So that hurt my feet just a tiny bit, so be careful on that. But for the most part, traction is great. It's lightweight, it's responsive, support's great. Quality is amazing. So yeah, 8083 Ultra is amazing. And next, of course, we got the 8083 just because of the price, right? It's $40 cheaper than the 8083 Ultra, right? And also, it's pretty much the same exact performance besides, I guess, the cushion. The cushion is a little bit, it's a little bit stiffer for step and comfort, right? Obviously, Boom is softer, right? It's very, very soft. You have a little bit of bounce as well. But with the Cloud, if you're doing hard impacts, it's a little bit more resilient, and you don't, or I didn't feel my foot hitting the ground as much as in like the Boom drop-in midsole. So I wish they made the drop-in midsole a little bit thicker for the Boom, but anyways, the regular 8083 is just better for that. So that's why I put it a little bit higher up. But obviously, like, the upper is still minimal. It's a responsive shoe. It's still supportive, just like the 8083 Ultra. So it's on number 3, right? All right, moving on to number 2, we got the regular Player 1 by Serious Player Only. So if you still do want to cop that shoe, you can. But of course, they have the newer shoe, which is the Player 1 Plus, which is a little bit more expensive. It's $180, but amazing performance. And you get 2 drop-in midsoles. You get the regular Serious Player Only kind of drop-in midsole, and then you get the quick, which is more for responsiveness, you know what I mean? But you do get 2 drop-in midsoles, which I think is a very, very good price, or it's very good value for the price, right? So yeah, the Player 1 Plus and the Player 1, amazing traction. Cushion also is great. So they're both amazing performers. I would put them like at the top, right, for performance, right? So now let's move on to the actual drop-in midsoles, right, which are the best drop-in midsoles. So starting at number 8, we got 8. The Cosmic Unity 3 has terrible drop-in. It sucks. There's nothing. It's just literally, why is it even there? You know what I mean? It doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? It doesn't really improve the step and comfort because they glued on that felt material, right? Well, why would you do that? If you glue it, it makes it stiff anyway, you know. So it's terrible. The Cosmic Unity 3, terrible shoe as well. So don't get that. All right, next we got the 8083, the 8083, like the regular one. But I mean, it's interchangeable a little bit, you know. If you want a little bit more impact protection, then the 8083 can be a little bit, you know. But for me, I don't really jump that high. I don't have super crazy hops, so I put it a little bit lower up on the list, you know what I mean? So yeah, the 8083 is still nice. Yeah, it does last a lot longer than Lunarlon found in like the Kobe 9s, right? And I guess a really good thing about the 8083 drop-in is that it has amazing court feel. It has one of the best court feels on this entire list, right? So there's that. Moving on to number 6, we got the explosive drop-in midsole from Serious Player Only. It's explosive, it's bouncy, it uses a foam very similar to like Boost, right? It feels very similar to like the regular Player 1 drop-in midsole. That's why I put it a little bit lower on this list. It wasn't as bouncy as they said it would be, so I was a little bit disappointed in that, but it's still very, very nice. And it being placed at 6 doesn't mean it's bad. It's just there's a lot of good drop-in midsoles on this list, right? So there's that. Moving on to number 5, we got the Zoom GT Cut 2 with the React drop-in midsole, which is really, really soft, right? You have the bottom-loaded hexagonal zoom unit. Are we gonna, I guess we're not gonna put in the Zoom Strobel unit because that's a part of the shoe. That's not a part of the actual drop-in, right? So, but it's still, the GT Cut with the React is really, really nice. Moving on to number 4, we got the Player 1 Plus with like the regular drop-in midsole. It's soft for step and comfort, but also really good for impact protection. It's just a really good all-around drop-in midsole. That's why I put it a little bit higher up on the list. But it doesn't do anything like exceptionally well, right? Like for bounce or anything like comfort, you know. So there is the regular drop-in midsole by Serious Player Only. Next, we got the 8083 Ultra, right? So we have full-length Boom, right? It's an amazing drop-in. The only thing, like I said, is the impact protection, right? For hard impacts, right? So if you're doing kind of like soft landings and stuff like that, you'll be fine. It's really comfortable for step and comfort as well, and it also has a little bit of bounce, which I do like too. So because I don't do really hard impacts often, I put it a little bit higher up on the list, especially comparing it to the regular 8083. So there's the full-length Boom drop-in. Moving on to number 2 is the Support a drop-in midsole by Serious Player Only. So that was the first drop-in midsole that you could buy like separately by Serious Player Only, and it's really, really nice because it has a lot of compression right underneath your foot. It's super duper soft and comfortable, but also provides support and also bounce. You know what I mean? So it just does everything like pretty dang well. So it's like an upgraded version a little bit of the regular Player 1 Plus, or I guess like the regular Serious Player Only drop-in midsole. So the Support midsole is really, really nice. And my favorite drop-in midsole as of right now that you can get is the Jordan Zion 3. Jordan Zion 3 is amazing. I love the Formula 23's full length. You have a lot of compression right underneath your foot. It's soft, it's bouncy, especially in the heel. And then you have the bottom loader zooming in the forefoot, which also adds bounce. Cord feel is still pretty good. I would say it's not the best cord feel on this list. The best cord feel, like I said, is the 808-3, right? But the Zion 3 is still pretty nice, but it just does everything really well. It has a lot of bounce in the heel and forefoot. Impact protection is good. Comfort is like off the charts. You have really good stepping comfort as well. So it just does everything very, very well. So in my personal opinion, the Zion 3 is definitely my favorite. I guess my favorite drop-in midsole of all time, however, is, if you guys remember, like the Kobe 11, like there, if you ID'd it, you can get the drop-in midsole, like the Lunarlon drop-in midsole with a full-length zoom bag right underneath it. That's definitely my favorite. But the Zion 3 is definitely up there, almost as good as that, in my personal opinion, because of the Formula 23, right? So anyways, that about concludes this video, and hopefully this video helped you guys out. And if you guys do want any of these shoes, again, I'll try to leave them for link in the description box. If you've played in any of these shoes, tell us what your favorite is down in the comment section below, and also what's your favorite drop-in midsole of all time. And also, going forward, do you guys think more companies should give us drop-in midsoles? Tell us down in the comment section below. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.